Welcome to a job search quick tip. My name is Zach, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing online job applications and how to get the most out of these systems. Let's get started. Ever wonder exactly what happens when you push the submit button on an online job application? For most, it goes into a black hole without a lot of visibility, and all one can do is hope for a recruiter to reach out and move on to the next application. Now, I've been a professional recruiter for the last 10 years, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek behind the curtain, show you what goes on the back end, and give you some tips on how to make the most out of these online applications. Candidate submissions are captured in a database called an applicant tracking system, or ATS. The ATS just links the submission to the open position that the candidate was applying for. And then each of these positions are assigned to a recruiter or owned by at least one recruiter who's then responsible for checking and going through each candidate that applied to those positions. The important thing to remember is that these systems are completely open. Anyone with an internet connection can apply. And what typically happens at larger companies is that they get flooded with unqualified applicants. As a recruiter, I've supported positions with a rate of qualified candidates as low as 1 in 5,000. And what this means is that recruiters are going to prefer to use other methods to find qualified candidates for their open positions. This isn't to say that applying online is a complete waste of time. You definitely should be doing this. But the thing to keep in mind is that instead of going through each open position individually, what recruiters are typically doing within these systems is running keyword searches. Now, the power of the search features for each applicant tracking system vary by company, but usually they're not very powerful. And that means that the recruiters are limited in terms of how they search for people, but they do search across the entire system for candidates that would be a fit for their open positions. So how can you take advantage of this knowledge? One, be assured to align your job titles with industry standards. Don't be creative in terms of trying to redefine what it is that you do in your job title. Also, be as specific as possible in terms of what you do in your positions with these job titles. That will make it much easier for these keyword searches to find you when a recruiter searches their applicant tracking system. Number two, really think twice before applying to multiple positions at one single company. The first application will get your resume and information into the system. The second application certainly has diminishing returns. You're already searchable for the recruiter who's running that company-wide search. And so there may be a better use of your time rather than applying to several positions at one single company. Number three, I really recommend only applying for positions that are a good fit for your experience. If the job description says 10 years as a minimum amount of experience for the open position and you only have 2 or 3, don't spend your time on an application to that position. Find another position at the company that closer aligns to your work experience. Number 4, and maybe the most important thing, is don't stop after submitting the online application. Did you know that you can use LinkedIn to hunt down hiring managers that may be associated with these open positions? I have a separate video that outlines the details of this process, and I'll put a link to that video in the notes. I really suggest, if you're not familiar with it, checking that out. It's a process that's proven to be wildly more successful than online applications on their own. That's all for this video. Be sure to put any further questions in the comments, and also find more help for your job search at nextstepjobsearch.com.